Thank you, Nasia. Thank you, Nasia. Good morning. Hello. So I'm Gavin Patterson, Director of Data here at MEF. Going to start talking about MEF data and navigating customer preferences in an omnichannel world, which is why we're all here today, to talk about omnichannel, find out what it is. So we'll start with omnichannel, and we'll look at some customer preferences, take a little diversion into RCS, because there seems to be a lot of emphasis on RCS today, and then hopefully towards the end have some time to talk to you about some MEF data developments. So a simple question to start is, what is omnichannel? Because I think many people in the room probably have a very different idea or a different experience of what it is. So simple question, what is omnichannel, and what does excellence look like? So we've got these three different business functions here. You heard Robert talk about a lot of them. We've got marketing, we've got e-commerce, we've got customer care, and opinions from McKinsey, Oracle, Salesforce. So marketing, omnichannel is apparently when you interact with your customers over whatever channels they prefer. E-commerce, omnichannel is describing a business strategy that aims to provide a seamless shopping experience across all channels. Customer care, providing a seamless customer experience across multiple channels by integrating them within a seamless system. So omnichannel approach aims to provide a seamless experience across different business functions, interacting with customers over their preferred channels, all integrated within a single system, which means that basically we're moving from a business-centric single or multi-channel approach to one that is much more customer-centric. So, starting with multi-channel. We wouldn't start with multi-channel, I guess we'd start with single channel, where our customer here has one way of interacting with the business, but we'll start with multi-channel. The business-centric approach, where we have got disconnected channels and individual views of that business, forcing customers basically to provide context as they move from one channel to another channel, in effect, restarting the conversation every time they move channel from scratch. Not only creating a certain level of frustration with the customers, but also making it harder for businesses to track orders or performance. Moving across here to a more customer-centric approach, the omni-channel approach, where by definition we have all channels integrated, allowing information to be sent and resumed and tracked across each of them, providing a more seamless transition for customers, lessening the frustration, increasing engagement, loyalty, and retention. But it's unlikely to come cheap when you require investment in technology and infrastructure. And at best, I'm guessing most brands will start to integrate a couple of channels, maybe just the online channels or the mobile conversational channels, which means that there's something in between here, something else that we're sort of looking at, which is cross-channel. So ease of reference, call it cross-channel. Omnichannel is obviously the gold standard, the excellence we're navigating towards, but cross-channel is a pretty decent waypoint between the two. It is more customer-centric, offering application functionality opposed to full integration that performs seamlessly across various touch points, or maybe even it's a mixture of approaches where you've got some disconnected standalone channels and some integrated with omni-channel functionality, a multi-omni hybrid. And to misquote Voltaire, maybe the quickest route to the future of customer engagement on the left is by not letting the perfect here spoil the good in the middle. And there's one more link in the chain. we won't get there yet. This is the future. This is the garlic bread, I guess. This is Omnichannel, where we're moving into a world where artificial intelligence, Gen AI, is used for scenario creation, identifying the optimal channel for each customer interaction according to the function and the aim. So the need to swap between channels is then reduced or eliminated, which provides a more optimized customer experience. And before we move on, to be clear, I'm not saying that cross-channel here in the middle is the ultimate aim, but it certainly provides a good bridge for organizations moving from one side to the other. So my question at the start, what is omnichannel, was not meant to be naive or facetious. Do we really expect, as McKinsey said, that omnichannel is an integration of all preferred channels? So as Robert was saying, when you look at the different options for a brand, the things they've got to integrate, the countries have got to integrate, the types of users they have to integrate. Off the top of my head here, well, not off the top of my head, here, you've got email, app or web chat, voice, video, SMS, MMS, WhatsApp, RBM, Viber, Messenger, Telegram, social media, maybe even a physical store. And that's before we start looking further afield to things like KakaoTalk, WeChat, Line, even Zello. So all of these are integrated within a single channel, omnichannel, all channels. This is from Infobip's latest messaging trends report. It's all publicly available, so I'm not sharing any secrets here, giving away anything. On the right, we have conversational marketing. So omnichannel customers, those that are integrating chat apps. So a total of 62% in the purple, a total of 62% are using just 2 channels. Of their omnichannel customers are using 2 channels, mostly SMS and something else, and of that something else, mostly WhatsApp. 13% of customers are using 3 channels. Of their omnichannel customers are using 3 channels. And only 2% are using 4 channels. And on the left is an example from, I think it's the finance sector. The most popular combination used to be SMS, email, and voice. Now, it's just 2 channels, SMS and WhatsApp, and still just 24% of total customers. So from a true omni-channel perspective, we're still arguably a distance from pretty good, or even good enough. We're still on that bridge. Now, this is some customer preferences. This is from the consumer survey that MEF runs every year. 15 markets we did this year. Hopefully I'll have a little bit of time at the end to talk to you about MEF data and where we do this. But 15 of the largest markets globally. And this is how consumers would prefer to hear from brands. And just taking the top 10 channels of everything that they prefer here, email is still the most preferred. But over the past 3 years, all legacy channels, as you can see here, email, SMS, and phone calls, are either flat or falling in terms of preference. All the growth is coming from the rich channels. WhatsApp is now the second most preferred channel to hear from brands, up 6% and overtaking SMS this year. Instagram, Messenger, iMessage, all at 1%. And if we look at the change among different demographics, we'll see that this trend will only accelerate. You can see email here is progressively favoured. Up here, this is different age groups, if you can't see. 16 to 24, the first band, 25 to 34, 35 to 44, 45 to 54, 55 over. So email is progressively favoured by old age groups. WhatsApp is now preferred to SMS in every age group. SMS and voice are not far behind, but looking at the change over on the left there, from 2022 to 2024, email and voice are generally declining, especially in the old demographics. SMS is holding its ground, mainly due to its strength in the US, but WhatsApp is growing across all age groups. And as these 16 to 24-year-olds move up through the age range, today's preferred channels will be completely different in a generation or two. So if a business is going to put in place a more customer-centric approach with an omni-channel offering, it needs to think about future-proofing it as well. So here we've created what a seamlessly integrated experience should look like. This, if you like, is the ideal omni-channel pipe, according to average preferences across all of the markets surveyed. So have we seen email is top, would be the most, about 25% of the total pipe. SMS would be about 15%. Has now been overtaken by WhatsApp, 16%. Voice is down, about 12%. And then you have Instagram, Messenger, TikTok, RCS, Telegram, and iMessage. But the key takeaway here is that you can address about 70% of all omni-channel requirements according to user preference with just 4 channels: email, SMS, WhatsApp, and voice, which would be pretty good, right? Certainly good enough. Even just 2 channels, SMS and WhatsApp, would still address 30-odd% of requirements. This is the same omni-channel pipe, but now split according to age. And you can see that the channel preference for email, WhatsApp, and SMS all increase with age. Voice is pretty steady across all the age groups, with more social preference for the younger and less for the older. And even integrating just those 4 channels that we talked about here would have markedly different results in terms of who you're reaching or how you're reaching them. Up to 83% of the preferred channel comms with the over 55s, but falling to about 66% when we look at the 16 to 24-year-olds. Same again, just this time by gender. The difference isn't as defined, but there's a slight female preference for email and SMS, with males preferring the richer channels, WhatsApp, RCS, and the socials. Voice, again, is pretty steady. And integrating the 4 main channels here sees us meet about 71% of preferred channel comms for females, falling to about 66% for males. And it gets even more nuanced when we begin to look at the different markets, the different territories, and the country preferences. So we did 15 markets. I've just selected 5 countries here. So of those 5 countries, with their top 10 preferences, we're now dealing with 13 or so different channels. And look at the mobile-first economies here. Robert was mentioning them earlier. We've got India and Brazil, just 39% reach for the 3 legacy channels in India, and just 42% in Brazil, versus more sort of developed economies in the US, 53%, UK, 54%, and 60% in Japan. Adding WhatsApp lifts India to 55%. So we still need another couple of channels to get up to 70%, the next most popular being Instagram and Telegram. WhatsApp is huge. In Brazil, the single largest channel by far. So adding that takes it up to 73%. Then we need to include Messenger and iMessage in the US, 71% in the UK, so up to about 71%. The UK is about 67%, I think, by adding in WhatsApp. And then you've got Line in Japan, taking it up there to 83% with 4 channels. So we've got different markets, and the demographics and gender splits within each market all create slightly different routes to what omnichannel excellence would look like. And let's not forget about RCS, RBM, the other rich channel everyone's interested in. So I think we all, or most of us, probably agree that the emergence of Gen AI and conversational messaging is going to dramatically alter the mobile messaging landscape. And this year we've seen AI being integrated across RCS and AI-driven targeting on WhatsApp. And as they scale, they'll begin to drive change in those channel preferences we've just been looking at as well. We can already plot to a certain extent the organic change we'll see as the younger demographics take their preferences with them through the life cycle. But the rich channels like WhatsApp and RCS will eat into SMS volumes, and voice-based customer care will be the next at the hands of bot-driven conversational messaging, primarily on WhatsApp and RCS again. And we've got a pretty clear idea of what's happening with WhatsApp. We know what their pricing is, we know what they're doing, where they're doing it. So briefly, to look at RCS. So this is RBM reach of RCS users. So RCS available everywhere on the relevant devices, and RBM where MNOs have signed up, normally with Google, have an agent, and have commercial traffic. And you can see that we're going from around 52% penetration, RBM penetration of the total RCS base, over here in 2020, going up to around 61% or so in June this year, and on course for about 72% by the end of this year. The drop you can see in the middle there in 2022 was when India turned off RBM. You see Google hitting 1 billion or so at the beginning of 2023. The difference there is China, Japan, and South Korea. And iOS adding another 220 odd million users to the RCS reach. Now, it would have been about 300 million, but we've still only got SFR in France and EE in the UK. So RBM reach is pretty good. We've got about 1.5 billion or so out of 2.4 billion total RCS users. RBM deployments, a little less so. As of June this year, still only 16% of MNOs globally had launched RBM. There's about 750 or so MNOs, got about 120 launches. By the end of this year, we'll be only up to about 19% of MNOs in just over 50 markets. But the traffic is concentrated in about 20 golden markets where all MNOs have launched. And they're doing a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of RBM reach. And let's be honest, significant traffic volumes are only really being seen in 2 or 3 markets. So total RBM traffic, 0.06% of total SMS in 2022, 0.18% last year, and jumping hugely this year, about 1.65%. And this is just the share of SMS where RBM is present, not total SMS. And 2024 is meant to be the year RBM finally breaks through, and it has done in some markets, primarily Brazil and India, and I think there's now high hopes for what will happen in the US. I think what happens in the US will probably drive a lot of RBM going forward. But if RCS is going to really challenge WhatsApp, it needs to be ubiquitous across all MNOs in all markets. And now that we've finally got Apple on board, we need to drive scale, and maybe that's what we're going to see during 2025. So finally, see the clock's running down, so very quickly, a little bit about MEF data. This is what it is. We've got 3 different legs to it. We've got messaging data. We covered 218 markets worldwide. We look at everything from total connections and total users, humans, machines. Business messaging data, which we get with Mobile Squared. We share all this stuff on the first bit. We get all that stuff on the second bit. And this is our customer survey data. We've been doing it for 10 years. There's 15 markets. I think it's about 55% of global population. It's about 60% of mobile users, about 65% of connected users. And this year in the survey, we're adding in more markets. We're going to add in Turkey and Poland, so it's getting even bigger. And what we're going to do is try and move from this functional but not very feature-rich offering of MEF data that we launched last year into something more like this, much more integrated, offering more seamless experience with single access point, expandable search for mobile markets, for mobile services, for enterprise comms, incorporating all elements of MEF data which can be accessed by ecosystem or interest group, locked to membership type, better functionality, offering saved searches, comparisons, an intelligent back-end, and offering around 1 million data points when we go live, about 7 or 8 times what we currently do. So maybe not a true omni-channel offering, but certainly a more integrated offering from MEF for our members. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Gavin. Folks, we are aware that there are questions also online and here in the room. However, I would ask you to talk to Gavin during our coffee break, and we will get started with our next session.
Thanks, Gavin.